Welcome back, gamers. Today we're diving into the atmospheric, disturbing world of Mouthwashing, a psychological horror game developed by Wrong Organ and published by Critical Reflex. If the name Wrong Organ rings a bell, it's likely due to their haunting surreal release from 2022. And this time, with Mouthwashing, they're taking their signature unsettling style and applying it into an entirely new frontier, space. So strap in and prepare for a journey that will leave your mind warped and your nerves on edge. At its core, Mouthwashing is a first-person narrative-driven horror game that takes place on a shipwrecked space fighter, and you follow the fate of a 5-person crew left stranded on a meteor collision, now desperately clenching for their sanity as they wait for a rescue that may never come. This game runs in the familiar vein of psychological horror game, but it breaks away from the more traditional space horror games like Dead Space and Alien Isolation, and it does this by infusing surreal storytelling, retro visuals, and an oppressive sense of dread that will gnaw you from the start to finish. And if you're someone that's grown fond of the retro indie horror scene fueled by the haunted PS1 community and developers like Puppet Combo, then Mouthwashing will feel like a natural evolution of that movement. So let's talk about the narrative, because in many ways, the story is like the lifeblood of Mouthwashing. You are introduced to the crew aboard the Tulper, an interstellar cargo firefighter that crashes after a collision with a mirror. And the situation is grim, as resources are low, tensions are high, and the psychological toll of isolation begins to break down the mental state of the crew. On the surface, it sounds like a familiar setup, but the beauty of this game lies in how it twists the seamlessly conventional premise into something far more unsettling and abstract. This game unfolds in a non-linear fashion, with events happening out of chronological order. You're constantly jumping between moments before the crash and the aftermath, with the game giving you a glimpse of the crew's slow descent into madness. And this fragmented storytelling makes the entire experience feel like a fever dream, disorienting you while mirroring the disorientation of the characters. And one of the game's most brilliant narrative tricks comes early on when you're given the title card 0 days before crash. And this sets up an unbearable sense of doom right from the start, as there is no avoiding the catastrophe, only the slow realization of how things spiral out of control. And the relationship between Captain Curl and his second command Jimmy serves as the emotional backbone of the story, as Curly is a respected, authoritative leader and holds the crew together, but as the events progress, the cracks in his leadership and in Jimmy's ability to cope with the mounting pressure become apparent. Jimmy's burnout and slow unraveling are depicted in excruciating detail, which adds a personal layer to the game's overarching theme of isolation, leadership, and the psychological toll of responsibility. And the interactions between these crew members combined with the game's non-linear structure ensures that the narrative keeps you guessing and always on edge. And if you're someone who's played How Fish is Made, then you know Wrong Organ excels at creating grotesque, lo-fi visuals that stick with you long after you put the controller down. And in Mouthwashing, they've dialed things up even more, as the game's visual style plays homage to PS1 era horror games, with low-poly character models and pixelated textures that invoke a feeling of nostalgia while simultaneously making everything feel just a little wrong. It's as if the game exists in an uncanny valley between the familiar and the nightmarish, with disorienting visuals and glitch effects that keep you constantly unsettled. And this game also creatively uses mixed media, by incorporating video glitch effects and public domain archive footage in transitions and cutscenes, which gives this game a dreamlike and more accurately nightmare-like quality that makes you feel like you're experiencing a story that's always on the verge of slipping away from reality. And when it comes to the sound, this game absolutely nails the aspect. There's no over-reliance on jump-scare audio cues. Instead, this game uses ambient noise, eerie metallic scratches, and unsettling soundscapes to build tensions. Sometimes the most disturbing moments in a game are defined by what you don't hear, as in certain scenes, there's almost an ASMR-like focus on unsettling bodily sounds. But when it comes to the gameplay, the game is a mixed bag. At its core, Mouthwashing is best described like a walking simulator with light puzzle elements, as you navigate the Tulper using standard keyboard and mouse controls, interacting with objects and collecting items to solve basic puzzles. One of the key mechanics is a scanner that reveals hidden codes, but it also has a secondary function. Occasionally, it will uncover eerie, disorienting visuals that further the game's psychological horror themes. And while the puzzles are straightforward and mostly serve to pace out the story, they aren't particularly challenging or innovative, as the real emphasis here is on exploration and immersion. As you move through the ship, you're encouraged to read notes, inspect objects, and delve into the crew's personal effects to piece together the story. And there's occasional action moments to break up the walking, but these are more about unsettling the player than offering any real gameplay complexity. In my opinion, Mouthwashing manages to carve out its own space as a truly unique experience. It combines surreal storytelling, a deeply oppressive atmosphere, and retro-inspired visuals to create a game that's both unnerving and thought-provoking. The game is an 8.1 out of 10. If you're a fan of surreal, short, narrative-driven horror experiences, then you should not miss Mouthwashing. If you've played the game, did you like it? Would you recommend it? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a great day.